You also have to use the information from the question in your response to have a complete response. So, if you take a look, both of the heights are 14. And since they're both triangular prisms, if we cut a cross section parallel to the base, the cross sections of both are going to be a triangle. It's going to be the same triangle on both. Because area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. And on this one, we would be plugging in 8 for the base and 5 for the height. And that gives you 20. And on this one, finding the area of the base, we would be plugging into the same formula. And this time the base is 5, but the height is 8, but it works out to be the same 20. So the triangles do have the same areas, and that's what the cross section is going to be parallel to the base. So I'm going to write this down. Since both figures have heights of 14, and since the triangle cross section parallel to the base has the same area of 20 for both figures, they have the same volumes. So this would be a full credit response, writing down what Cavalari's principle is and how it applies to the question. And notice how I even showed the areas, because they did give us numbers in the question, so I did even show that the areas were going to be the same. Okay. Walter wants to make 100 candles in the shape of a cone. So the cone is the mold. So it says the mold shown below will be used to make the candles, but it's a cone is the shape that we're dealing with. So we're trying to find the total volume of 100 candles. So the volume of a cone is 1/3 capital B times H. And since a cone has a circular base, area of a circle is pi r squared. So now I'm going to plug in. The height is 8. And the diameter is 3. So that means the radius is half of that, which is 1.5 inches. And this is going to give me the volume for one candle. So 1/3. Be careful of your parentheses. Pi 1.5 squared, and then the height was 8. That's 18.8496. And we want for 100 candles, so I'm going to multiply by 100. And then I can round according to the question in this part, which says to the nearest cubic inch. That means the nearest whole number. So to the nearest whole number, that would be 1,885. Would be the total volume of 100 candles. Now we're talking about buying wax for the candles, and the wax costs 10 cents per ounce. The weight of the wax is 0.52 ounces per cubic inch. So that's the mass unit, that's the volume unit. That means this is the density. And we need to figure out how much it will cost Walter to buy the wax for the 100 candles. So remember, we already have the volume for 100 candles. So in this part, there's no need to multiply by 100 because the volume that we're going to be sticking into our density formula that we already found is already for 100 candles. So we're going to find the cost for 100 candles. So density is mass over volume. So the density that they give us is 0.52 ounces per cubic inch. Sorry about that. We're looking for the mass. The volume is 1,885 cubic inches. Put this over 1. Cross multiply. we have that the mass is equal to, let's see how many ounces. I'm going to multiply by 0.52 in my calculator. 980.177. And then it says, so this is the weight of the wax, the mass. And then we see that the wax costs 10 cents per ounce. So I do need to multiply by 10 cents to see how much it's going to cost. And since it is money, we do round to 2 decimal places because you could have cents, but you could only have 2 decimal places when you're talking about money. So anytime you're talking about money, it won't explicitly say how to round, but you are making it look like money. So $98.02. If Walter spent a total of $37.83 for the molds and charges $1.95 for each candle, what is Walter's profit after selling 100 candles? So Walter is selling 100 candles, each for $1.95. So in total, Walter can make $195 off of these candles. But then we have to take into account what Walter spent to make these candles, right? So in this question, it says that Walter spent $37.83. But we know that Walter also had to buy the wax for the candles as well. So that also factors into the profit. Minus $37.83 minus, what was that again? $98.02. And that's $59.15. That's dollar sign looks weird. Okay. I'm not going to go over the extra credit because you can see Regents Review number 2 video for that. You did need to make a perpendicular line through a point for that one. I did not give partial credit on that, but you can see the video on that for that one.